Hi, David Hart here from a G4 Guitar. What I'm going to do here in this particular lesson is talk about picking, and we're going to hone right in on the important parts of picking. So if you grab your picking sheet, and I'm just going to work you through the whole sheet one step at a time. So the first thing I want to talk about is bracing and why it's so important when you're learning to pick. If you have a look closely at the guitar here, when I put my fingers here on the guitar, that gives me a point of reference, if you like, so I know where I'm at. So that's how I can learn to pick without actually having to watch my hand. So if you can put your hand either on the guitar or when you're coming up to here onto the strings when you pick, that will give you that security. So also think about, like when you're standing, if you're sort of holding your feet on the ground firm, then you're going to have a much better position if you're trying to push something, and that's what you're trying to do here. You're actually trying to do a motion. So you want to make sure that you do that bracing. So that's the very first important thing that you need to think about, is the bracing. The next thing you need to do is make sure that you're holding the pick nice and firm and really trying to get that 90 degrees there so that you can see. I'll come right up close. I'm going to come a lot of zooming in and out here, but if you have a look at my hand here, you will see that the pick there is coming right up close. So that's where I'm there. So I've got that 90 degrees happening there. So don't go down flat like that or go up like that. Keep it coming almost like pointing straight into the string. So 90 degrees to the guitar itself. You can see there that I'm picking from my thumb. You can pick from your wrist as well. There's two motions you can do there, but this is picking from the thumb. Okay. So the next thing I want you to think about is to begin in slow motion. Make sure that everything you do, you want to try and aim for accuracy here. So if you're doing it too quickly, rushing ahead, then you're not going to get that accurate picking motion. So again, what I'm doing here is just going very slow. So I'm just going to go down and then up, literally only doing one pick at a time and thinking about how you're doing it and making sure that you're alternating here. So you're going down and up, but each time think about the motion. So you can see I've got the fingers in there, I'm bracing, and then I'm holding the pick at 90 degrees, and then I'm thinking about each motion as I do it. So down and then up. So I'll come in nice and close again so we can have a really good look. So going down and then up, down, up, down, up. Okay, and you want to do that with a metronome as well. So I'll just give you an idea here. I've grabbed something here off the internet, which you can get as an app using like this kind of thing, like an iPod. You can then go to, this one's called Musebook, M-U-S-E book, Musebook, and basically you probably can't see it on there because of the lighting and everything, but hang on, let's see if we can get up close. So that gives you a basic idea, and you just set the speed of the metronome. The metronome just gives you the count, so I can just click that on there, and as I said, we're going to start really slow, so maybe set it down at about 60. Okay, what I'll do here is I'll just set it there at 70. Set it up nice and loud so you can hear it. And then what you're going to do is just pick, you can even pick every second one to start with. So you're going down, up, down. So you see I'm alternating, and I'm really focusing on my picking. I'm thinking about the points there. Bracing my right hand, holding the pick at 90 degrees, beginning in slow motion. So take as long as you need on each picking motion to make sure you get it right. You want to make sure you're striking that string every time. Think of it like a tennis player hitting balls. You want to make sure that you think about every stroke that you do. If you're a golf player, every ball that you hit. So it's the same, every picking motion that you do. And so often when guitar players start learning guitar, what they do is they don't think about the picking. They're thinking about what they're doing up with this hand. They're so busy trying to play songs that they're not thinking about what this hand's doing. So as a result, they become fairly clumsy in their picking motion, and they really never really master this. So you can see when I'm picking there, I'm always bracing, and my picking is automatic now because I've more or less mastered that skill, but I still develop it. I still keep working on it. I'm just going to stop the metronome there. It never stops. You keep this going. So keep that picking motion, practicing it every day. I practice it every single day. What I want you to do when you first start practicing, every time that you sit down with your guitar, is start with picking. Always begin with your picking. Spend 5 minutes minimum, more if you can. If you do a 30-minute practice session, 5 minutes minimum at the beginning of every practice session on your picking. Because what you're going to find is you're going to need to warm up. Even the best players, when they first get on their guitar, if they're not warmed up, their picking is fairly average. And they need to get that warmed up because you need to remind these particular muscles that this is what's going on. That you spend most of your day, as most of us do, spend most of the day doing other things with our hands. So when we come to guitar, which is a very fine, delicate motor skill, if you pick up your guitar and just start trying to pick, it often won't do what you want it to do because your hands are in they're basically tapping into another part of the brain doing different things. And you'll see this a lot. And, you know, as a guitar player, when I was sort of in my early years, people would say, hey, play us a song, and I hadn't warmed up. They'd sort of say, come on, get up on stage. And so I'd be nervous and I wasn't warmed up. So when I got up there, I was making lots of mistakes simply because I wasn't warmed up. So you've got to get your picking into the mode of picking. So start off slow. One of the best pieces of advice my own teacher gave me is when you start to play, start by playing very slow scales or exercises. Just do them very slowly and meticulously, and then you will get warmed up. You'll get in the zone, and then you can speed up. Okay, so the one last thing that I want to mention there on the technique is to make sure that you're using a hard pick. I don't approve of soft picks. I think soft picks are only good for one thing, and that's if you want to strum very softly. The rest of the time they're of no use, and I don't even really think that they're needed for that, because when you learn with a hard pick, it gives you the best of everything. You can actually learn to strum softly and make softer sounds. So if I'm playing in a band, I'm accompanying a singer, and I want it loud, I just open it right up. But if I want it more soft, then I'll just mute it down. So I'm getting that sort of thing. I don't need to swap picks. This pick does everything for me. It's a hard pick. Make sure it's at least 1 mil and that there's very little, if any, flexibility in the pick. It doesn't need to be super thick, but it needs to be hard. Okay, there are 5 picking exercises which I've covered in another video, but I'll just quickly go through them here. And there's also a full sheet on picking, which I advise you get a copy of as well. Now, in this picking exercise, the first one is just down and up on one string. So you just select the 6th string there. It's probably the best place to start, and pick down and up. And that's all it is. You can do it on each and every string. So just spend time on every string. Make sure you're doing it with the metronome, and eventually your picking will improve. It'll keep improving. Like I said, you need to do that every day. Just keep. And later you can incorporate the left hand into the scales, which we'll talk about. The second exercise is picking down on the 6th and up on the 5th, and this is sometimes called outside picking as well. So it's down the 6th and up on the 5th. The third exercise is up and then down. So it's up on the 6th and down on the 5th. I'm only briefly covering these because I don't want you to practice all these exercises just yet. This is your first lesson, so what you're wanting to do is just work on the first exercise, but I'm just going to cover them quickly. And the fourth one there is just down, down, so you're picking the 6th string followed by the 5th string, and then on the 5th exercise, you're coming up on the 5th and up on the 6th, so you've got up, 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 like that. Down, 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 up, 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 up. So they're the 5 exercises. But for this week, this is your first week, what you want to do is just stick to one exercise. Just stick to the first exercise. And in fact, you can stick to this one exercise for weeks and weeks if you like, because you want to really get a hold of each exercise. You don't want to try and do as many exercises as you can, because it's not about the exercises and how many you can play. It's about doing each one right. We really want to focus in on getting things right from the start. If you make that your philosophy of getting it right, and this is part of the G4 guitar method, is to hone in, take the 80-20 approach. Focus on the 20% that will make the biggest difference. Don't try and do everything, just do a few things at a time. So down, up. So let's just do this. Let's just spend a little bit of time doing the down, up here. So I'm going to stop the video there, and I'm going to let you go and practice that for 5 minutes, and then you can go to the next video. Okay, off you go. Thanks, guys.